I've been to about 30 countries, visiting factories in all these different places.
Yeah.
And it's been a great experience.
You guys source products for companies around the world.
Yeah.
All types of products from factories all over the world.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of times people have issues with their supply chain and they're coming to us out of necessity. So like COVID, things blew up for us because the global supply chain broke, and then people are coming to us saying, hey, I need to find a new supplier for this product, right? Also, e-commerce was booming in that time, so we were bringing in a lot of customers on that side. But a lot of times, we work with e-commerce brands. They're going to come to us and they want to lower their cost basis on their product. They want to improve their quality. They want to improve their overall supply chain, so how logistics works. Or they're looking to add new products, right? Or launch a new brand. And then we also work on like the enterprise side with like even like Fortune 500 companies, helping them with like procurement and different merchandise items.
This is your host, Alex Quin. I'm a full-stack digital marketer and public relations expert that helps businesses sell millions of dollars a month using online digital strategies.
Hey guys, Randy Zuckerberg here.
Hi everyone, it's Neil Patel. I'm Nick Santanastasso, and you're listening to the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast.
This is the motherfucking CEO, Andy Frisella. You're listening to Hustle Inspires Hustle with Alex Quin.
What's going on, y'all? This is Alex Quin. I'm here with Isaac, the sourcing guy from Imprint Genius. You're listening to the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast. Today, we're going to talk about everything sourcing. What's up, bro?
Hey, bro. Good to see you.
How's everything, man? Good?
Happy to be here.
Dude, we've had a great conversation just now before starting. You were talking to me about you running your business from Bali, spending some time in Miami, heading over to Colombia. It's beautiful that you get to run your business and doing it from anywhere in the world, man.
Yeah, man, it was definitely a goal while I was building it, because I started in college and was like, I want to be able to graduate college, have my business, and like be able to go abroad and be that kind of digital nomad. I read like the 4-Hour Work Week, like everyone kind of does, and that became like the Bible for me. And so since then, been running my business, visiting factories around the world. Been to about 30 countries, visiting factories in all these different places.
Yeah.
And it's been a great experience.
So we met, like 2019?
Yeah.
And you've come some ways since 2019. We met through Simon from NetCon, so shout out Simon.
Yeah, shout out Simon.
We actually all collaborated on an event in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Around that time was when the podcast was taking off. The podcast started, I believe, in like 2019. I think this is going to be episode like 107, 108.
Wow.
You guys did great work back then. I can't imagine the work that you guys are doing now.
Appreciate that.
You came through with a gift for Hustle Inspires, branded gift. So that's what you guys do. You guys source products for companies around the world.
Yeah.
All types of products from factories all over the world. That's your thing.
Exactly.
Did you always want to do that? How did you fall into that?
Yeah, I mean, so both my sides of my family are actually manufacturing. My dad owns a factory in China. Electronics, and we don't really do that much electronics, but it introduced me to the world of manufacturing and bringing me to China, me working in the factory from a young kid. And then on my mom's side, we had a small apparel factory in Toronto. So like for my whole life, I was always in this kind of manufacturing space, and I knew I wanted to do something in it, but I wanted to do, my own thing.
Your own flavor.
Yeah, and then what I realized was that people were having so many issues with sourcing products, and everyone needed to find good manufacturers, but it was such a complicated space. And if you don't actually grow up in a factory and work in factories, you don't understand really how they tick. And I realized I had this unique skill set. So I started my company 7 years ago now.
So you have roots in China, or is it that your dad being an entrepreneur just happened to have a factory?
My dad's just crazy, and he's like,
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, he was running an e-commerce business and wanted to find a good manufacturer for his products.
And they did a shit job, so he started his own?
Exactly. He flies to China, goes to see the factories. He's like, this ain't it. And I think 5 months later, he had a factory fully, with no Chinese partner either. Just opened up his own factory and was in full production in 5 months.
See, sometimes in life you have to do shit like that to really take control of things and get things done. And you have to take risks. I know it's a tricky business, mainly because a lot of people have issues from what I've heard, because I'm not an expert in the field, but just the communication factor. And like you said, knowing what makes the factories tick, what works, what doesn't. It's a lot of work. So talk to me, man. what type of products or what type of clients usually come to you? Like, what are people looking for?
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of times people have issues with their supply chain and they're coming to us out of necessity. So like COVID, things blew up for us because the global supply chain broke, and then people are coming to us saying, hey, I need to find a new supplier for this product, right? Also, e-commerce was booming in that time, so we were bringing in a lot of customers that side. But, a lot of times, we work with e-commerce brands. They're going to come to us and they want to lower their cost basis on their product. They want to improve their quality. They want to improve their overall supply chain, so how logistics works. Or they're looking to add new products, right, or launch a new brand. And then we also work on like the enterprise side with like even like Fortune 500 companies, helping them with like procurement and different merchandise items.
That's incredible, man. So, question for you: when it comes to specific would you say that you're niched into like clothing, fashion, lifestyle, electronics, or you're an open book? You listen to what they need and you find the right partner from across the globe from your Rolodex?
Yeah, I'd say that we can almost do anything, right? I'd say our strongest niche or our most popular niche is within like the sportswear, accessories, athleisure. That market is just booming right now.
Good margins too.
Yeah, amazing margins. Yeah. Within e-commerce is doing well. Like even in the corporate side, people want to just make those kind of items branded. So that's like our biggest niche. But I mean, we've done every product under the sun. The only thing that we don't really do is we don't do high tech, and we don't do like cosmetics or like food. But if it's
high
not
tech, as in like cell phones, shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
like,
some other beast, bro.
It's a whole other beast, and there's a lot of really, really great companies, that are really good at that. So we try to figure out what we're good at, and then we have good partners that we just refer out to for everything else.
Yeah, the makeup thing is also tricky too. Yeah, and the foods. But is that mainly because of a liability issue, or like what makes people maybe not head in that direction? Yeah,
a lot of it has to do with liability. We want to, like, we do inspections for every type of, all the products that we do. We do our best to guarantee the quality.
You do third-party inspections before shipping and before everything, right?
Exactly. Okay. So with that, you need to be able to, test the product. But it's very hard. There's a lot of complications when it goes into how are you testing food safety or the cosmetic safety or like fully testing out a cell phone. Like even Samsung had phones blowing up. But when you're doing, consumer goods, there's different. It's not simple, but if you know the right process, you can test and guarantee the quality. Yeah. And there's also a lot more certifications, right? There's all these different certifications that you're going to need to import these types of products like cosmetics, like electronics into the US. And we'd rather, stick with the items that are going to be, lower liability.
Yeah, the really cool thing, I love the client base of anything health and like sports related. When I mean health is sports related and working out and margins are good. Products are usually a little bit pricey, good quality, and they're good customers that care about their health, care about how they look. So they invest well into those products. So I actually like that you're doing that. And it's also, I mean, look, I've created merchandise for so many of my brands, and it's not easy to find good manufacturers for clothing. I mean, anybody can make a T-shirt, but not everybody can make a good T-shirt. A T-shirt that feels good, fits good, lasts. Like, for example, we made Hustle Inspires Hustle T-shirts. Yeah. We had rubber stamped, nice stretchy polyester style material. It took us going through like 4 or 5 factories to find it. You bring tremendous value to e-commerce store owners, to up and coming businesses, new business, and even established businesses, because a lot of these people don't know the process. There's also a lot of ways you could save them money, right? From a shipping perspective, from a supply chain perspective, what are the main concerns that people usually come to you with when maybe looking to sign up with your company? So maybe like some pain points that they've had with other businesses, other people that they've worked with. Yeah, I mean, I think that first thing, people are relatively scared to work with factories overseas. They can run into pain points of like communication as being a big one, right? Whether that be a language barrier issue, time zone issue, or just a lack of reliability in communication. We're a U.S. company, so we mess up, like people can sue us. So we have to have that high quality experience for the customers, and like
So people are coming to us because they want like a more comfortable solution. They don't want to be stressing as much. They want to know that when they order a product and we
Peace
say
of mind.
Yeah, exactly. We're giving them the ease of mind. And then another issue that they're going to have is going to be on the quality side. So a lot of times people are going and they're working with, subpar factories. They're getting products that, they ask for a specific color and items aren't centered. It's all of this.
They send you whatever.
Exactly. They send you
get
whatever.
It out the door and send it.
Because there aren't really like checks and balances. Like, okay, like they go, you pay them over a wire transfer, you get the goods,
That's
and like,
it.
what are you gonna do now?
No refunds.
So you got it.
Ain't no chargebacks on a wire transfer.
Exactly. So
That has to be so stressful, man.
it is, and it's so super stressful for our customers, but that's why we come in and we know how to vet the factories. We have the systems in place to prevent those issues from happening.
I think it's so cool how you learn from your parents a lot of this, and then you kind of made it your own. It's been 7 years of Imprint Genius. Yeah. Did you see it be like? How did it start off? Did it start off operating the way it operates now, meaning providing the same exact services, or were you operating a little bit differently before?
Oh, no, definitely operated differently. So,
Yeah.
it started off as more of a promotional products and custom merch company. So, like, your traditional, like making T-shirts for, I started in college, so we were doing, like, T-shirts for fraternities and sororities, like.
And you made the T-shirts for
levels.
Necon, right?
Yeah.
We had with the Hustle Inspires Hustle and
Yeah,
Necon.
exactly.
I love those. Yeah, that was good. That was dope as fuck back
So,
then.
exactly.
Appreciate
Yeah. So, we started off with that kind of world, and then we were doing a lot of direct factory work, which is a little different from how the industry traditionally works, which is all just like domestic printing and production.
Okay.
And what we realized was like the biggest value that we had was our unique way of sourcing and supply chain that came from my background and experience. And then the business started evolving and starting to work with larger brands and more complex projects and like actual like e-commerce and creating retail grade products, right? Because when you make a T-shirt for a giveaway, that's a giveaway. It's a very different experience to something that you're going to go and then resell. And since going to that market, it's been things have been fantastic, and it's been a really rewarding experience.
Yeah, super cool. Now, as far as clients. When you're on the phone and you're speaking to a potential client or potential partner, let's say, because they are partners, what are some red flags you look out for where you say this person isn't ready, or maybe these are a list of things that people should have ready before they look for somebody to source our products?
Yeah, I would say that you want to understand the product that you're looking for the most part. So a lot of times people are going to come to us, wanting to source a specific product, but they're not going to understand, example is like what kind of certifications that you might need, that, what type of materials you actually are looking for within that product. They don't understand that, you're going to have to go and purchase a good amount of inventory, if you want to do something custom.
Yeah, not 5 pieces.
Exactly. With starting any type of business or brand, there is, a financial investment that's going to go into it. And also a lot of times people are going to always they're going to go on Alibaba, they're going to sort by lowest price, and they're going to be like, yeah, I want, this product, and I see it on Alibaba for 20 cents. It's like, okay, well, you can order on Alibaba for 20 cents, but
knock yourself out.
Yeah, but if you want like a real quality product from a good, reliable factory and a partner that you're going to be able to scale with, sometimes it's going to cost a little bit more, but it's going to save you money in the long run. And that's the biggest thing. Headaches because if you don't have a reliable factory and then you try to scale, right, and you don't have your systems in place, I'm sure like you were doing e-commerce, right? You try to go and scale that, and then you have, missed deliveries and quality control issues and issues of production. Now you have, thousands in chargebacks and all these issues, and you can't properly scale your business. So that I'd say that's like a big issue.
And chargebacks are a huge problem because then you could get your processing account shut down, and that's a whole other beast. In retrospect, you feel like you're saving a bunch of money up front and you're just creating problems for yourself in the future. But I guess most business owners learn that early on or keep repeating that mistake.
Yeah.
You got to spend money. You got to spend money on your business. And more than spending money on your business, I think you've probably learned this is that you're going to find cheap products out there.
Yeah.
And you really have to think about like what your goal for your business is. Do you want longevity for your business? Do you want people to talk well about your products? Do you want your products to actually solve people's problems? Because if they don't, and you're just looking to make a quick buck, then it's just like a cash grab. And then there's no respect behind that for your brand. You know what I'm saying?
And that was obviously a huge trend within drop shipping and all these pump and dump stores.
Yeah.
And I think that now things are finally starting to shift and people are realizing like you can't really scale like that anymore. People are wanting to build actual brands that have resale value in the long run.
Yeah, well, you know, over the years, I guess in some aspects, drop shipping is getting a bad rap. Not only because of delivery times, but because quality of your product, scalability. But would you necessarily say drop shipping is better? I know there's branded drop shipping. There's different ways that it could be done now that it could actually work. How is that world looking right now?
Yeah, so I'd say that traditional drop shipping is dead, but there is new kinds of drop shipping, like you mentioned, branded drop shipping, that are like the future, and these are the hacks of ways to do e-commerce more effectively. So how the new version of dropshipping works is instead of you just going and sourcing something from AliExpress and shipping directly and it not being a fully customized experience, you can actually work with agents and factories and warehouse goods in China that are fully branded. So a fully custom item with custom hang tags and packaging, and you create this, beautiful retail experience, and then ship from China over to the customer anywhere in the world in about a week. So from a shipping perspective, comparatively to shipping from the US, it doesn't take that much longer, but you save tons of money. And you save it in a few different ways. You're gonna save money with branded drop shipping on your actual duties and tariffs, because people aren't realizing is when you go and ship something from, let's say, China to the US, with the trade war going on right now, there's a 25% tariff on a lot of products, plus the duty on top of that, right? So some products could be 30, 40% tariffs and duties on it. So you go and buy a product for $10 from a factory, you have to pay an additional, let's say, $3.50 per unit. That could be your whole margin. So instead of that, when you ship a good that's under $800 into the US, it's considered a parcel good, and you don't have to go and actually pay that duties and tariffs on it. Per good, okay. Right? So it's $800 for the order value.
Okay.
So when you do that, now you're saving not only that, let's say $3.50, or it could be on a $100 item, it could be $35, right?
Right. Yeah.
You're saving all that money. Then you're also saving the money on shipping. So you're not shipping it from China over to the US, putting it on a plane or a boat, and then, because that's a piece. And then you're saving on time. And for businesses, cash flow is everything. So when you go and you work with a factory, a lot of times you have to pay before the item ships. So you're going to go and, let's say, spend $50,000 on the PO. Now you have to wait 30 days for it to be on the boat, get to the US, then go and get to the fulfillment center, get checked in, right? And then from there it can go and ship. That was all time where if you produced in China and inventoried in China, you could just produce, have it sitting in the warehouse in China, and then ship it right away. You're looking at a potentially 1 to 2 week process from when you send the PO to when an item is delivered to the customer.
And tariffs and all this other extra shit.
Yeah, so I think that this whole new system of like people inventorying in China and shipping from China is the future, and I think a lot more brands are going to start utilizing these new improvements in logistics.
So, yeah, because from a week to months, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
How long have you seen this system in place from your experience? Has it always been around and people were just not paying attention to it?
So it's been around for a few years now, like a while, but it's been improving substantially. So there's been a lot more fulfillment centers being built in China for this specific use case, and there's a lot more efficient shipping methods. So it used to be like, even if you were going to go and ship, it was still going to take like 3 weeks and it's untracked and all this stuff. But all these new types of shipping services are coming out where they can go and deliver in like 4 to 10 days at a relatively economical price, right? So like under $10 to go and ship.
Taking it back a few years, because you briefly mentioned that things blew up during 2020.
Yeah.
Did you also have a lot of challenges when it came to the shipping issues that were going on with all the boats and like all these docks being backed up across the United States? Was that something that directly affected your business?
I'd say in the
these ports.
Yeah, I would say that the massive crisis, shipping crisis, actually helped our business. And it helped it because they were unique problems that only we could solve, right? Because we understood like the ports that weren't backed up, and we understood specific shipping lines that we could utilize, and we had dedicated trucks that were sitting at the port waiting for the goods to ship, and we knew that we could ship containers half full, and it was still more cost efficient than trying to airship. So there were these little tips and tricks that we were able to utilize to execute on our clients' behalf and save the day for them.
What a crazy time.
Yeah, it was a crazy time. Like
Oh
I don't understand how we made it through it. Like it was crazy. It was fun, very stressful, but we executed and we got a lot of really great customers from that, ridiculousness.
Yeah, for me during those months of 2020, I lost almost all my business on the marketing agency. We had a lot of brick and mortar stores.
Yeah.
And also a lot of our e-com partners were having supply chain issues and all these other issues, and people were just going wild, man. People, like a lot of our clients were shutting down. They were letting go of people, shutting down their operation. They thought the world was going to end. And then you start seeing the supply chain crisis, and you start seeing all these boats backed up in California and God knows where. And then you just goes to think the people that are prepared, okay, the people that work with people like you, immediately have plan A, plan B, plan C, like different ways of being able to manage shit without completely imploding their business. Because for the person that's just starting their business out, it's relatively minimum risk, but to a massive corporations like the one you work with, like the ones you work with who are doing, I don't know, 500,000 a year, $1 million, 5 million, 10 million a year in sales. That's a massive problem because they got people waiting. There's an expectation already.
Yeah. And that's what we're seeing a lot too, is people are coming to us saying, hey, we're happy with our current supplier, but we want to set things up with you guys so that we have contingencies in place and backups in place, because every business now needs to have backup suppliers set up. And that's another thing we do with our customers. It's like, we're not finding you one supplier. We're finding you 3 suppliers. We're going to recommend we're going to work with the best one, but we're always going to have the backups ready to go.
Yeah. So what are your typical client traits? Like, who is the perfect client for you?
I'd say like a perfect client is going to be someone who's has an existing brand that's been running, they've been seeing success, but they know that they can improve on a cost basis from a quality perspective, or that they have a couple killer products, but they know that they can, if they add more products to their product line, they can really build it out and quadruple their business. Yeah. So, when we're able to, look at the data, look at the products, and then come in as experts and improve their supply chain as a whole, that's like the perfect customer for us.
Okay, beautiful. I like what you bring to the table, because not only do you provide services and sourcing, but you've had so much experience with working with other brands. Let's say also from a sales and marketing perspective, from a logistics perspective, that you're able to, in a way, not only provide the service, but consulting that leads to so many pain points being ailed for the client. Yeah. Right. And I think that's invaluable. That the years of experience, the knowing how to go around certain issues, the being able to tap into your network, being to even fall back on family who's been able to do it. There's a lot of value to that, man. Because it's years.
Thank you, man.
It's years of experience. It's not just paying a service, right? Because a lot of people might, who don't understand the business, might look at it and be like, okay, well, I could go and find a factory, and I'll use ChatGPT and Google Translate or whatever the fuck, and I'll communicate with them and figure it out. But it goes so much more beyond that. That's where your value proposition lies.
Of course, yeah. We want to be like real partners, and we want to act as like your chief supply chain officers, if that makes sense. And because look, if our customers do better, right, and their businesses are success, and they have the right products and the right pricing and all that kind of stuff, they're going to succeed, and then we're the vendor, right? So then we succeed too.
Okay, I want we've talked about how you could help people. We talked about what the kind of services, what kind of products you service for people, your background. I want to talk about imagine we're a brand new person is listening to this and they want to get into that world. Yeah. Okay. They're I've been wanting to do this and I've been expecting to do this. I have an idea for a product. I have an idea for a merch brand that I want to come out. I want that person listening right now to potentially learn from a few failure stories. Without mentioning names, that you've seen businesses fail for doing certain things that are maybe something that you've seen as a common denominator across the board.
Yeah.
What are some of those things that are no-goes, something that you want to stay away from, potentially implode your business if you don't handle sourcing correctly?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things.
Okay.
One is, really understand who you're working with. So if you go on Alibaba, for example, well, Alibaba is a fantastic platform, and I do a lot of content teaching people how to use Alibaba properly. There's a lot of trading companies, a lot of middlemen on Alibaba that are pretending to be factories. And when you're not working directly with a factory, there are some benefits to working with trading companies, but a lot of times you don't always have full control over the quality, because they can, what we've seen before is you're going and ordering a specific product from a trading company and everything's going great. And then you're negotiating with them and trying to lower your price point. And then at a certain point, they go and then use a different factory to produce that item. And then
to meet your price point or to...
Exactly, but they don't go and they tell you that they're switching factories on you for whatever the reason is that they're going to switch factories. Right? And especially if you're doing a product like an electronics product, right? You can have an absolute disaster where the product, it doesn't meet spec, is breaking, all these different issues. So I'd say like a really easy way to prevent that is you can do a couple things. You can go and look at the company's address. So if you are looking at their address and you're seeing that they're located in like Hong Kong or Shanghai, it's the same concept of like someone saying, yeah, I run a whole massive factory in Manhattan. No one's gonna go and own a factory in Manhattan.
Malibu.
Yeah, exactly. There's probably a trading company, right? So another thing you can do is you can go and you can use WeChat, WeChat is like the WhatsApp of China.
That's what Elon's trying to do here.
Exactly. It's like a super app. And you can actually FaceTime them, right? And do a video chat with them and say, hey, let me see the factory, right? And if they're not able to do that, then they're probably not at the factory. They're probably not the factory. Yeah. The other thing is like understanding also like, is this factory actually specialized in it? Because you'd be working with a factory and you're like, okay, I want to make backpacks with this like backpack factory and they seem awesome, the pictures look good. Then you go and you hop on the call with them and you go through their factory and they're like, yeah, we can make you 50,000 backpacks a day. And you hop on the call with them and they're making hats and there's 20 people on the production line.
They're hustling. They're just trying to they're just trying to sell.
Exactly. So you got to call them out a little bit.
The chills, bro. Imagine. Because so many people have had to deal with that.
Yeah.
Your hard-earned money, you're dropping 50 G's, 100 G's and some shit. You're trusting these people because it looks good. They're a middleman.
Yeah.
Maybe the first order went through good.
Yeah.
So then maybe you dump 200K on the next one, and then that's when they switch factories, and then you figure out that it wasn't what you thought it was.
Yeah.
What a nightmare, man.
Yeah, people have a lot of nightmares, unfortunately.
Well, that's why people really like your TikTok content, though.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you've been blowing up on TikTok. I think it's like the last 60 days you grew by like 20K, or how was that?
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, we're up like 20,000 followers in the last like few weeks.
And straight educational content.
And it's educational content, so teaching people how to source products better, like the do's and don'ts. And also I make content like showing where like top brands are manufacturing and talking about like the cost basis on products, so people can start seeing like, okay, cool, like we just did a video like Patagonia got like 600,000 views. It's like, okay, here's a Patagonia jacket that sells for $300. Like if you want to go and create like a similar type of jacket, like what factory do they use, what are the MOQs, and what kind of margins are they working on? And like Patagonia, when I went to the factory that Patagonia produces for, two of them. I went to the factory in Sri Lanka that produces jackets for them, and also in Thailand. And the cost basis is like $30.